Welcome to our 209 final project, Earning an A. Our project is a narrative visual journey through the health inspection data of New York City restaurants as recorded by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. While building our visualization, we realized there is an assumption that restaurants receiving A grades have no violations. This just isn't true. So here we start with an overview. This is New York City. If you hover over any particular area, you'll see the zip code as well as the percentage of restaurants here with an A grade. Here we share some details about how the inspections are conducted, including the fact that each restaurant must display a card with their respective grade on it. However, as we see in the visualization on the right, a majority of restaurants in each of New York's 5 boroughs all receive A's. In some boroughs, it's as high as 88%, but never goes lower than 84%. There must be something more that separates them. So it would turn out that there are violations in restaurants with A grades. The cards that must be displayed do include the grade, but they don't include the violations. And as we can see in the chart on the left, the A restaurants, depicted by the green color, have an average of at least 2 violations each. So it comes to reason that we should be able to tell what those violations are and to see how bad they might actually be. So here we've assembled the most common violations for a user to explore. And this is based on approximately 22,000 of New York City restaurants currently rated an A grade. And you can see that some of these violations are quite numerous, but something like this, non-food contact service improperly constructed, might not be so worrisome. But as you start to explore some of the different violations, you find here there's evidence of mice or live mice present in the facility's food and or non-food areas. And it's almost 2,500 restaurants. That's about 1 in 10 of A-graded restaurants have had in their last inspection, evidence of mice or live mice present. So that's something to be concerned about. And as you look through some of the other ones, you can see there's this one is wiping cloth soiled or not stored in sanitizing solution. So there's a lot of things about cleanliness. There's also, here's live roaches present. Now this one's only 480. But when you look comparatively, 480 out of 22,000 doesn't seem that bad. But if your favorite restaurant is one of those 480, that might be a little different as you think about it. So ultimately what we wanted to do was get you to a final dashboard that has the information for every individual restaurant so that you can do that deep dive. And even if your favorite restaurant is a grade A, that you can see, well, what exactly does that mean? What violations have they had in the past? You can see at the top left, we have each restaurant listed, as well as their history of inspections over time from 2012 to 2017. And you can see if a restaurant has multiple locations, that's also here in this visualization. Down below, we have the individual violation details. So for instance, if I was coming through here and I wanted to look at, let's look at 10 Below Ice Cream, has 3 different locations. I can click on an individual dot to see that specific inspection. I can click on a street to see inspection data for that specific location, or I can click on the business to see all of its data. And you can see here 10 Below Ice Cream has had lots of violations about evidence of mice or live mice, and I particularly like that when it's paired with facility not vermin proof, clearly, if there's evidence of mice or live mice. And to the right here, we also have a handful of filters that if you wanted to look at, all restaurants that are American food or all bakeries, you'd be able to do that here, as well as limit by particular zip code and individual business name. For instance, if you wanted to compare 2 restaurants, you could do that here by finding them and isolating them in the list. You can also then reset if you want to come back to the default state and explore more restaurants. That's our visualization. Thank you very much.